Good evening. Hope everybody is doing all right. Has it been a heck of a day in news? It was another day that very early on there were like over 30 headlines to sift through. And then all throughout the day there was a fair amount of headlines to put out, and then I got a notification that on Facebook from one of the local news stations here that Mr. Rittenhouse was actually on the stand. So I literally had stopped everything and tuned in and listened and spent much of the day listening to Rittenhouse's testimony. And wow. Absolutely insane. And the reason why, I normally don't do that, but the reason why I did so is because the way that the media is completely yanking this out of perspective, and they are taking bits and pieces of the testimony that would almost seem like it would implicate Rittenhouse, but yet when you hear the whole testimony, it's a totally different picture. And this is happening pretty widespread across media. And so I wanted to tune in myself personally and see what was going on, what was being said. And man, I'll tell you what, I would not want a judge that pissed off at me ever. That judge was pissed, and he was pissed at the prosecution. Who knows? I know the name of the show and the thumbnail, all that. That's just all in good fun. I do have a related story to it, but this Rittenhouse thing is really on the top of my mind, to be honest. I knew that I was going to be... Sorry, I had breaking news that I'm getting out now. Hang on, I'll tell you what it is real quick. Nothing. SpaceX Crew 3 mission lifts off for International Space Station. So that's breaking right now. So anyway, the trial is just absolutely insane, and it got to the point. Well, hang on. Let me run through the stuff that because I'm doing this backwards from the way I intended it, and my apologies. Let me run through the other stuff I've got real quick for you, and then I'll go into that, because I'll be talking more about that than this other stuff. So let me do that and get it out of the way, and we'll go from there. So real quick, first off, what inspired tonight's thumbnail and show? YouTube hides dislike counter. So yo bro, give us our dislikes back. And I mean that. I do. I truly mean that. You folks are kind to me. You really are. I get very, very, very few dislikes on videos. Very few. Hang on. It's very, very, very few. Hang on. If I can get it in here. I know I didn't open that, and there we go. So, yeah. As you can see, over here on the very, very far right, you will see most of those are 100%. Once in a while, you'll see one that's not. Most of them, hell, this one's as low as 80. But most of them are 100%. So, like I say, you guys are very kind, and thank you. I, for a while, had the likes and dislikes kind of disabled, because there are individuals that will, they get a kick out of it. They think they did something when they see that tick there on the dislike side. They think they accomplished something in life. And whatever, I don't care. For a while though, there were some individuals, a group of individuals that was doing it, and it was every video. I'm like, okay, so that's what I did. I essentially did what YouTube is trying to do, but that was my choice, you know. And what you do is you just simply take that giddiness away from them, right? You take that reward away from them, make it where they can't see it. That should be a creator's choice, okay, whether or not to do that. By the way, I will real quick say that Rittenhouse video, yeah, after review, they did give me monetization on that. And here's the funny thing. I clicked on wanting a review on a video on accident on this live show. I was thinking it was the second one down at the time. And I was thinking I was on the other tab. I was thinking that I was on the uploads tab, and I wasn't. I was on the live tab. Well, anyway, I had accidentally asked for a review for monetization on this live show, the show of the 8th, and yeah, they granted it to me. I don't get it. I was I don't know what to do. I mean, they keep monetizing me. So, I don't know how, I don't know. I just think it's crazy. But anyway, back to the story at hand here. So let me read what's going on. YouTube has officially hidden a thumbs down counter on all videos from public view, citing dislike attacks. It said we're targeting small channels. Small channels. Critics say the official White House channel will benefit the most. Ding, 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 ding. It says we're making the dislike counts private across YouTube, but the dislike button is not going away. This change will start gradually rolling out today, the Google-owned platform announced on Wednesday. Creators will still be able to see the dislike count in the back-end settings if they choose to do so. Officially, the move is intended to counter dislike attacks and help better protect our creators from harassment. Matt Koval, YouTube's creator liaison, said that people engaged in such coordinated attacks were doing this because they don't like the creator or what they stand for. Wait a minute. Let's see. It's much less likely to cause stress and embarrassment if the count isn't visible to the public, Koval said. According to YouTube, such behavior unfairly targeted smaller creators and those just getting started, which was confirmed by an internal experiment they conducted in July. That like investigating yourself? Since the change was tested in March, critics have pointed out that its main beneficiary wouldn't be the small channels, but the White House, whose 1.9 million subscriber official channel has been consistently dislike ratioed since the start of the Biden administration. Another beneficiary could be YouTube itself, as their 2018 Rewind amounted to the most disliked video ever. The proposal to remove the dislike counter was first floated soon thereafter in February 2019. Koval denied this was the case, though he acknowledged that YouTube has since given up on the annual Rewind series. This is about protecting all creators and making sure they have a chance to succeed and feel safe in doing so, he said, pointing out that other platforms don't even have a dislike button. It's difficult to say how well this explanation was received, as the dislike counter on the video was hidden. Goodness. Anyway, so, we know. That was hilarious to go over there on the White House's YouTube channel. And I mean it video after video after. I mean, the ratio of dislikes to likes was just insane. Absolutely insane. So, yeah, we get it. But don't worry. Don't worry. They're going to fix that. They're going to fix that. And the reason why is because every single one of us is going to love Joe Biden. That's right. He's gonna save Christmas. I'm absolutely not kidding. I think he's got a plan, man. Come on, man. He's got a plan. Biden admits prices too high and promises to save Christmas. Don't he kind of look like Santa? I almost photoshopped a hat on him and a beard. I almost did. Anyway, U.S. President Joe Biden admitted everything from gasoline to bread costs more, but vowed to fix this and the supply chain crisis through the recently passed $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill and his Build Back Better agenda. Speaking in the Port of Baltimore on Wednesday to promote the infrastructure bill and urge Congress to pass the even bigger and more sweeping BBB, though he urged argued, the U.S. was experiencing the highest growth rate in decades, fastest decrease in unemployment ever. Yeah, every single president says this crap. He acknowledged most Americans see only the rising prices. Everything from a gallon of gas to a loaf of bread costs more, he said, and it's worrisome, even though wages are going up. So, this is something I guess he said yesterday. I spoke to the CEOs of major retailers, Walmart, Target, and the leading freight movers, FedEx and UPS. They assured me that the shelves will be stocked in stores this holiday because they signed on a 24/7. So, this is insane. I kind of shared this more than anything for comic relief, though, because Biden's gonna save Christmas, y'all. It's ridiculous. Now on a more serious note, I've tried being a little lighthearted there, but we do got some really serious stuff to discuss. Got a headline here. U.S. Anti-Terror Agency warns new COVID lockdowns may inspire extremists. So here we go. You can already imagine, I'm going to read the article, but you can probably already imagine what we're looking at and what the reaction will be if we speak up. So here's what it said. The Biden administration is again warning of potential threats from terrorists, foreign and domestic, saying it could be fueled by anything from the arrival of refugees from Afghanistan to possible new COVID-19 restrictions. I wonder if it could be from the arrival of refugees, quote unquote, refugees. Think we could change fueled from to from? I'm just wondering, asking for a few million friends. I'll go on. For the remainder of 2021 and 2022 and into 2022, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists and anti-government, anti-authority violent extremists will continue to pose a threat to the U.S., said a bulletin from the Department of Homeland Security on Wednesday. Foreign or domestic terrorists have historically targeted crowded venues and at times caused mass casualties, DHS pointed out, noting that the upcoming dates of religious significance over the next few months and the continued reopening from pandemic lockdowns could provide increased targets of opportunity for violence. However, they rushed to note that there are currently no credible or imminent threats tied to any dates or locations. Hang on, let me move this. However, if new public health restrictions are put into place in case a new COVID-19 variant emerges, that could also be potentially used as rationale for violence against the government or public health officials by anti-government extremists, the DHS said. Moreover, some domestic violent extremists have attempted to use the relocation of Afghan nationals to the U.S. to exacerbate historical DVE grievances over immigration and the American Muslim community, the bulletin argued. Let's see, the DHS also complained about the narratives online that allegedly promote or advocate violence against elected officials, political representatives, government facilities, law enforcement, religious communities, or commercial facilities, and perceived ideological opponents. You mean like having prisoners of war political prisoners, political prisoners? Let's see, the department advised Americans to stay vigilant and report any suspicious activity, listen to local authorities, and develop digital media literacy to recognize and build resilience to false and harmful narratives. Wednesday's warning follows the pattern of Homeland Security bulletins since President Joe Biden took office in January. The DHS warned that some ideologically motivated violent extremists with objections to the exercise of governmental authority and presidential transition, as well as other perceived grievances fueled by false narratives, could continue to mobilize to incite or commit violence. Nothing happened. In May, the DHS claimed that the lifting of COVID-19 lockdowns could lead to extremist attacks, and in August, it worried about some conspiracy theories associated with reinstating former President Trump. And just like COVID, this is going to be never, ever, ever ending. There's going to be a new boogeyman every time you turn around. And that's just a fact. So, get ready for this. They're setting all of their groundwork in place. And I'd been, warning about that, how they were going to be doing that, and then they were going to be real quick, like starting to implement it. And they have been. I was talking about this before any of the mandates were put in place. And I was saying the same thing then, because I knew, and it's going to continue. This isn't just going to go away. It is, it's not going to go smooth. I really hope people don't have their sights set on that. Remain as hopeful as you want. Just don't smoke too much opium. Because I don't think it's going to go very smooth. So we'll kind of jump to another country here. This is actually Russia. So Russia's health minister revealed that anti-vaxxer doctors, what they deem, could be held criminally liable. So, in other words, if any of their doctors kind of go against, their agenda, they could be criminally charged. So, I would really, I suspect we're going to see this here, too. I really, really do. I wanted just to bring that up because I thought it was something important to note. It's in the headlines as well, but I wanted to bring it up at the beginning of the show. But anyway, back on to this Rittenhouse thing. It was shocking. The level of badgering of Kyle Rittenhouse today was indescribable. And that's, I'm using the proper term. The prosecution badgered the hell out of him. In fact, I thought, I'll tell you what, I thought the judge had jumped in quite a bit to set things right. But there were some times I thought the judge should have stepped in, and he didn't. And the badgering, the extreme badgering was one of those times. Because he kept trying to trip Kyle up and get him to, I don't want to say the exact words because I don't want to get it wrong. more or less kept asking him over and over and over about, if his intent, was to kill them, and which it's not. And Kyle kept saying over and over and over, more or less it was to stop the threat. And I'm paraphrasing here, but that's what Kyle meant. Now, sometimes he stumbled around a little bit, and I caught myself yelling words a few times because there were some key words that he could have used. And he did use at different points. He would think of the word and he would use it. But it was still, it's like, because you want to help the guy. I felt bad for his mom. I felt really bad for his mom. She was really having a rough time, and you can tell she seems like she's a good woman. And I'm just good at that. I'm good at, I can tell people's their body mechanics, how they act, how they react, especially how they react. She seems like she would be a pretty decent woman. It's just insane. It is absolutely insane. Like I said, the amount of badgering that went on, and then there was all the different times that the judge did speak up. And I mean, the judge just absolutely reamed that prosecution. I think the trial came very, very, very close to ending today. And I wouldn't say that it's completely out of the realm of possibility for it not to be ended tomorrow. And even possibly a mistrial with prejudice. So, we'll see. I mean, the prosecution really crossed some lines today. More or less challenged him, challenged his constitutional rights because he invoked the Fifth Amendment, right after it happened. He wanted to speak to an attorney. And so, more or less the prosecution was trying to bring that up to possibly sway the jury. I forget. The jury was sent out several times. I mean, it was crazy. And then it got to a point to where the prosecution, it's I don't know. It's like they were on a fishing expedition or something. Because some of the stuff they were even talking about didn't even remotely add up. Some of the stuff that they were talking about was actually pretty inaccurate. And, like, for instance, they started talking about ammunition and different types of ammunition. And I think he was trying to show a case for reckless endangerment because Kyle had Full Metal Jacket. And I think that he was kind of trying to prove a case for possibly reckless endangerment because the round could possibly go through someone and strike somebody else. And but at the same time, for much of his, his questioning, he was, trying to prove intent that Kyle wanted to kill those people, that was his intent, to kill those people. And so this whole thing about the ammunition didn't even fit, because if that's what Kyle's interest would have been, he would have used hollow points. It was absolutely backwards from anywhere that they were even trying to go with anything. And even the judge had to step in and kind of be like, where the hell are you going with this, man? I mean, obviously, I'm clearly paraphrasing, but, it was bizarre. It was actually bizarre to watch this trial today. I'll tell you what, it was, it was absolutely as bizarre, but in different ways as what the the trial for the Bundys and company, so to speak. Um, it was crazy. On the good note, this judge seems to be, on the ball. This judge seems to be a pretty fair judge, a pretty decent judge from what I can see, unlike the Bundy trial. But just really weird stuff, really bizarre stuff. What's the other thing that trying to think. It was very interesting testimony to watch for sure. Like I say, that the prosecution really had nothing. They just continually tried to steer him in a direction that would more or less like incriminate himself, and that's pretty much about all they had, and they ain't got much. They don't have much. Some of the lines of questioning just didn't, He kept more or less trying to indicate, I guess, malice intent because he kept asking Kyle how come, how come he took his AR-15 with him when he went to go put out a fire, right? That the particular fire that he went to go put out that the altercation started. And, Kyle was just, it made no sense. I mean, the question was so stupid that Kyle didn't even know how to answer. Because obviously he took the AR-15 with him for protection. That's common sense. And it was almost like that the prosecution didn't even understand the logic behind that. It was bizarre. It was absolutely bizarre, and I think the judge's mouth was probably hanging open as much as mine. I mean, because it just made no sense and it was going nowhere. So I don't know. We'll see, but it is an important trial to pay attention to and to watch. I would also highly recommend you kind of pay attention to what's going to happen, because already I think it's Chicago Police Department. I think they're denying any request for time off because they expect that there's going to be unrest. I do believe, I think I heard other cities are doing the same or similar. They're bracing for possible unrest. I would say that if he is acquitted, you can probably expect unrest. The reason why, mainly, is because mainstream media is really, I mean, they are really, really skewing this as much as they absolutely can. And it's hang on. So anyway, I'm trying to think of where I was now. Like I say, I was trying to make sense of a lot of where they were going. I don't know where I was. I'm sorry. And it just I don't know. I know where I was. What I wanted to make sure to talk about, which this kind of leads right into it. The defense, they had, and if I get the terminology wrong here, I apologize, but I believe filed a motion or wanted to file a motion, at least for consideration for a mistrial with prejudice, because of all of the procedural issues that were going on. I mean, just today alone was insane. And the judge actually said that he's going to take it under advisement, or, you know, whatever it is, terminology, consider it, take it under advisement, whatever. You know, that's why I say, you know, there is a chance. I don't know that it would be a big chance, but there is a chance that, you know, we could find out tomorrow that this is done and over because of the nonsense from the prosecution. Now I know what I was talking about. I was talking about expect possibly unrest. And I would expect unrest if he gets acquitted of the charges, and the reason why is because of the media and the way the media is skewing this and making it seem like you know, the trial is just a wash against Rittenhouse. It's insane. I mean, you would have to read the headlines. I mean, just go look around. It's insane. And to have watched it and to know what was said and how they had to carefully pick out things in order to make it look the exact opposite of what it was to actually watch it. And it's astonishing. And we really need to pay really close attention. And that's why, like that video I put out earlier about the drones, you know, we've got to stop. We got to stop taking this news story from them, the same them, and because it's set somewhere warm with us, we run with it and see, and hold it up, and because of whatever reason, because it fits our agenda, or because it fits how we feel, or because whatever reason, we've got to stop. You have to assume that everything that comes from this media is a lie. And if you're not doing that, you're not looking for truth. So to just nab onto a story like that drone story and run with it with everything you got because it's a good fearmonger story, click, 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 right? Maybe there's more to it, as there was. You know? Gotta be careful. When you have organizations, and by that I mean media organizations, that are conspiring on the level that they are, and working with international interests to guide your thoughts, your opinions, your outlook, your desires, that's not good. And that is exactly where we are. I would highly recommend you question anything that comes from anything from Fox News to MSNBC and everything in between. Why do you think I use RT? I use RT for a reason. They're not tied up in this back and forth in our political parties. And you get a hell of a lot more truth from RT than you would ever possibly get from any one of the U.S. outlets. The most propaganda that I see RT put out is against Russians. That kind of makes sense? You know, the most propaganda that the U.S. puts out is against Americans. Anyway, reckon we can mosey on over the headlines. get those taken care of. They are quite a few. Got one from last night. It's Apple loses appeal in epic battle against payment monopoly. And then we go to this morning. U.S. bombers conduct refueling exercises over Australia. Elon Musk tweets away $50 billion. He could have gave me just one of them. U.S. military tries out Israeli tricks for anti-China defense in Guam. I guess they're basically, they put an Iron Dome system in there like they have in Israel, and they're testing it out. Iran links economic terrorism to global warming. Russia set to reach record high pre-COVID oil output levels. Apple CEO invests in crypto, but company remains wary. Kids age 12 to be allowed gender change in an EU country, says a draft bill. I guess that is a draft bill, whatever. That's mind-blowing. Supreme Court ruling could see 4 million iPhone users paid £750 each. COVID-19 jabs to become mandatory for over 60s in Russia's second city. Russian lawmaker explains how country could make COVID-19 vaccines mandatory. You notice how these articles are hitting like that? And remember, I talked about earlier on how it's in Russia that they're wanting to make it to where if a doctor's anti-vax, they can be criminally charged. Not noticing any kind of patterns or trends here, are you? EU court upholds decision to fine Google €2.4 billion. WHO admits COVID-19 is not going anywhere. Kazakhstan to buy Russian electricity as cryptocurrency miners cause energy shortage. Gas price in Europe plunges to September low on Russia boost. Hitler's favorite mayor is staying, Austria decides. I guess it's a statue they're talking about. NASA will miss Trump target for moon landing. I didn't know that they put a big picture of Trump up there on the moon and was aiming for it, so I don't know. A scammer dupes Instagram into believing its own boss is dead. Google won't pay for spying on UK iPhone users. Belarus accuses Polish border guards of violence against migrants. Joe Rogan praises smart dude Aaron Rodgers after COVID vaccine backlash. U.S. teen girl floors basketball rival with sucker punch after being ordered to hit by her mom. Her mom screamed and told her to hit her. It's ridiculous. I covered this article earlier. More UK universities ban criticism of Israel, says report. No high laws. Trying to do the same thing here. Merkel wants Putin to help solve Poland-Belarus border crisis. World's oldest industrial giant announces split, propelling share price surge. Sweden's PM formally resigns for the second time. Migrant crisis on Belarus-Poland border caused by EU's failure to uphold European values, says the Kremlin. And I forgot to mention this earlier. Yeah, this whole situation is really blowing up. So we'll see what happens with it. Let's see. Trump loses bid to keep White House documents secret in Capitol riot probe. 18 Russian prison officers fired over chilling clips of torture behind bars. China reacts with fury to U.S. lawmakers' Taiwan visit. Yeah, that's not sitting too well. Germany advises on COVID-19 vaccine choice for under 30s. Let's see. I saw the Capitol riot coming, says Prince Harry. He knew it. LGBT Virgin Mary poster may land 3 activists in jail. That's in, I can't remember. One second. Poland. Okay. I couldn't remember for sure. Sorry. Chip crunch sets back major tech and auto giants production. U.S. shouldn't tax billionaires, by the way, as you see. Still not going to be fixed. U.S. shouldn't tax billionaires, finance guru tells boom bust. Ghost soldiers to blame for Afghan government's quick defeat, says ex-minister. Russian soldiers tried to bribe their way into a war zone, says reports. Lukashenko warns more Afghan migrants could soon travel to Europe. UK government disgusted at how protesters treated Israeli ambassador. QAnon shaman should get jail time to set example, says prosecutors. COVID delays convicts' execution. UN slams Poland's knee-jerk reaction to Belarus border crisis. Businesses sue over irreparable harm from Biden jab mandate. Russia accuses Chinese of endangering its resources. I thought that was interesting. Toxic foam covers Delhi River that people drink from. U.S. accuses engineer of espionage for Chinese company. U.S. consumers face highest inflation since 1990. We talked about that. Germans swear off hugs and handshakes even after the pandemic ends, says a poll. Rittenhouse testifies in tears as prosecutor targets AR-15s and video games. Yeah, that was another bizarre part where he started talking about the video games. I mean, there was no way to connect it. I mean, I don't know. They were just grabbing at anything. Let's see. Parents sue to oust chair of bathroom assault schools board. Former MMA fighter sentenced for role in U.S. Capitol riot. Don't get brazen with me. Judge in Rittenhouse case unloads on prosecutor. That was part of what I was talking about. Apple lets users scan vicinity to find sneaky AirTags. Let's see. From the makers of the Great Reset, here comes the Great Narrative. I guess there's a bunch more meetings getting ready to happen, I guess, in Dubai. And from my understanding, they're calling it the Great Narrative. How's that? How do you like that? They have the Great Reset, right? Now the Great Narrative. So they're all planning all of our lives out, and I guess they'll let us know, right? What they want. We need to make sure to remember to let them know too. Okay? International Space Station dodges Chinese satellite debris. Biden admits prices too high and promises to save Christmas. I mentioned that one. I read that one too. Let's see. Multiple states slap Biden with another vaccine mandate lawsuit. We almost already there. Yeah, because that was the breaking news I did at the top. SpaceX's Crew 3 mission lifts off for International Space Station. Wow. I rattled through those pretty quick. That works for me. I might hop out of here, and I got a little bit of steak left from the other day when I cooked us some New York strip steaks, and I think that's calling my name. So a little bit of A1 sauce, and yeah, I had made chili earlier, and got some beef hot dogs, some Hebrew National hot dogs. So I'm in compliance. And anyway, I wanted some chili dogs. It's been forever since I've had a chili dog, and they were delicious. Oh gosh. And anyway, so I made 2 chili dogs, and I ate one, and I was groaning. And then so what did I do? I ate 3/4 of the other one, and I was pretty stuffed. So starting to get a little hankering for something now, though. Anyway, I am going to get the hell out of here. I will say this before I go. I think tomorrow's going to be another crazy day, but I think the crazy day is going to be Friday. So I'm just letting you know. I think the crazy day is going to be Friday. And no, I don't see next week really letting up. I show it probably being, if we're on a chart going upward, I would say it's probably going to continue its trend. So anyway, I am going to get out of here. I appreciate y'all coming. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.